All right, so in this video, I want to show us how to do the sewing of our shorts, right? Now, I believe most of you must have watched the cutting processes, and then I want to explain to you how it was gummed. Now, this gumming is just as simple as this. You gum the pocket notched area in this form. Now, fold the notch points to meet each other and then iron out this way. Do the same thing on the other side as well. So once you have finished the notching, the gumming of the pocket points, you're done with this. And then you bring the band. Now, the band was gummed with paper stay or gum stay. Now, gum 2.5 inches width all along the full length of the band, and then fold half an inch initially, iron out all through, and then fold the band width, which is a 1.1, 1.2, depending on your decision. Right, this is a male shot, so I'm using 1.3, 1.2, 1.3. And after you fold all through to the very end, then you fold the excess band to come on top. Now this will serve you to make sure that this one enters underneath and you have extra inch left here so that it can hold the top stitching when you are top stitching, right? So having said this, and this is all you need to do. And then the other things you need to do is your pocket facing. You weave it all through this way, and then you also gum the flap all through this way as well. So let me also go and weave this and come back to continue the sewing process. All right, so now I have weaved that, and then the first thing you need to know is, or need to do, is to fix your the pocketing. The measurement of the pocketing is 13 inches width by 13 inches depth. So once you have gotten the cutting properly, you slash out one edge. The slashing is 1.5 by 7, or whatever be the inch you use in the pocket notch. And then after which, you now bring your pocket facing. Now don't forget that the pocket facing was folded, right? It was weaved. So you bring the pocket facing, and then you place one of it in this form at this one edge, and you thread this area. So in the threading, while you are doing it, you make sure it's being held properly this way, and then you sew. So while sewing, you hold it very well and thread on the weave point. You thread on the weave point. So the weave point is where you will thread all of this, and then thread all along this way. Thread all along this way. So once you're done with the threading, cut your threads as well. So you have fixed the pocket facing, right? Very important. And then you bring the one panel of the shorts. Now in the panel that you will pick, the panel of the short you will pick will be the one that the notch area of the pocket opening will be at the slashed edge, while the bodies of the short will be outside, right? Don't pick the one that will be inside this way. So place the notch, the folded area, half an inch across this edge that you slashed. So place it in this form, and then thread on the after the line you have folded. So make sure that when you place it in this form, you stitch all through this way. You stitch all through this way, and then stitch all through this way. So make sure you carefully not thread. So because of the fact that I have the what they call English mouth at this edge, I will not need to fold this. But if it was not English mouth, you would have folded this inwards, right? So leave it there, it's still okay. And then you thread down all through. So this you have done now. Then cut your threads as seen, and then fold this to come inwards, and then you start from here and stitch. stitch and stitch it all through down to this very point, stitch all through down to this very point, stitch all through down to this very point, and this is what we have. And then cut off your threads. So the next you will do now will be to lap this area on the pockets facing. Now the placement will be 2.5 inch from the edge of this area to the thread that you have sewn here. 2.5, very important, 2.5 inch. So once it's held that way, the next you will do is to lock or stitch the up part. So here you stitch the up part of the short, making sure that it's lapping nicely. After which, cut your threads and trim off the excesses. Cut your threads as well, and then hold these points, this edge properly, and stitch. So once you have stitched to an extent, now you also cut your thread. You also cut your thread, and then raise the main short up just like this, and notch 1/2 inch down and 1/2 inch in, just this way. 1/2 inch down, 1/2 inch in, this way. And then put your hand inside the pocketing and drag it out. So once you have dragged it out, you hold it firmly this way, and then you stitch the base. You stitch the base. So you can give it a curve, or you can maintain any shape you want to use. But curved pockets, I think, are better off. It helps to give room when you are joining the sides, both side panels of front and back together. Then cut off, then trim off the excesses. Trim it out just like this. Trim out all through this way. After which you cut your thread and then pocket the pocketing inside in this form. After you have done that, then you top stitch. Now the top stitching helps to reinforce the pocketing so that it doesn't tear off easily after or when you are carrying a heavy object inside, like key, any sharp, anything that can puncture it. It will help you to relax and reinforce it. So thread all through and then thread to the end of that notch point. So this is how you fix the front pocket, both for your shorts, for trousers, anything that has to do with front pocket. This is how it's being fixed. You see how easy this seems to be. So I will do this on the neck pocket, then I'll also show you guys the results. See the beautiful stuff we have made here. So this is how it's being fixed. I will do this as well in the next one. I will show you guys the results, then we'll proceed with the sewing proper. Alright guys, so now after you must have fixed your pockets, so I have done this pocket fixing on the both panels, right? On the both panels of the short. You can see I have done the right and I have also done the left. Now you are going to place the both panels together. Place the both panels together, and then you will make your notch here. So the notching is 7 inches depth, depending on your customer's size as well. But the regular is always 7 inches, right? So you hold the shorts in this form, and then you notch. You notch here. You are notching 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch rather here, and you're going to pick the left panel. This one, the left panel, the one that houses the left pocket, right? This one that houses the left pocket. So pick it and bring this flap and place it in this form, making the flap or the flap here to be a bit higher than the short length here, and then start from your notched point to do your joining. So you thread from here as shown, thread from here as shown. So thread all through to the very end. So once you're done with this, cut your threads, and this you have here. So you're going to top stitch. The top stitching will be on the flap point. So you top stitch this just like this. Top stitch the tip. Top stitch the tip. Top stitch the tip. Top stitch all through to the very end. So this is how you do it, and this is, look at the finishing, very important, right? Look at the finishing, very important. So once you're done with this, now the next you will do, it will be to bring your zip. So this is the zip. Make sure you use the big head zip. Avoid those tiny head zips. They are prone to easy damage or spoiling. So face the zip you have here. Face the zip downwards, just like this. The placement this zip edge should stop at the edge where you have top stitch now, and the iron stopper should be half below your short length, right? Should below your short length, half inch below your short length is where you will have to place it, and then you are going to stitch on the other side. So that's taking the lights. Let me cut on my gem. I'll continue from where I stopped. So now, once you have placed your zip in this one, and then you start threading from this other end. Start threading from this other end. Make sure you thread all through to the very end. Thread all through to the very end. After which, cut your threads. Cut the threads. Cut the threads. Cut all the threads now. And then we hold the zip in this form and turn it over this way. So this is how it will be. And the next we will do is to bring the flap, the second one, the one you have weaved, fold into two, just like this. Run it across the machine in this form, and then you tuck it in all through this way. You tuck it in here. Make sure it's well placed, and then start from here. Stitch. So stitch all through from here. Stitch all through from here. You cut the threads. Cut the threads. Cut the threads. So this is what you will see. After this, we bring the second shot. Remember that the second part of the shot. Remember that this shot is where you notched it from. It's very essential. So hold the two panels of the shot together, just like this, and then you Start from here, that same place you notched, start from there, and then you thread. So thread from here, from the notch points, thread all through till the very end of it. Then cut your threads, cut your threads. So this is what you have. So this is what you have. Then after this, you fold the short backwards into two, and then you start from the point where your notch ended, pin your machine in this form, and then make sure you arrange the whole panels to be equal. Then stitch there, double stitch there, and then start threading. So it goes all through like this. It goes all through like this. Cut a thread, cut the threads. All right, so guys, when you are done doing this, now this is the joining, right? Just stitch all through around here, and then the next thing you will do now, this is the place where you start making your preparations. It's advisable that you first of all, iron this out before you make your stitch. But here, what I will do here is to make sure I measure from here 1.25. This is 1.25 or maximum of 1.5. 1.5 maximum. 1.5 maximum. Now I am using the invisible chalk to mark this so that when I iron, it will go off. So 1.25, 1.5, and then the point where this flap ended is where you're going to stop from or stop at. Then you make a nice curve all through this way. You make a nice curve all through this way, and then go all through to these very points. So this is how the curve will look like. So the curve measurement is 1.5 for all regular shorts and for adults, right? And then you unzip here, and then once you unzip this point, then you start threading here. And make sure that this flap has been weaved. You can as well fold this flap in this form. Now this folding as well is optional, where you make sure your stitching is going to hold the fold, right? So here you stitch from here, make sure you balance it properly, and then you start from the up area and stitch. When you are stitching, you remove all the flap excesses, unzip to the very end. Make sure that the folding is properly held. The folding must be held nicely, just like this, and then you stitch from here and make a curve. So while you're trying to do the last curve part, you can actually zip it back and then rearrange the flap underneath to enter, or you can still stitch it without the flap entering. Just make sure it's being held properly, and then stitch from here to these very points, and you're done with this. Cut your threads. So now we have achieved fixing our zip, right? So we are done with the front panel. So the next we're going to do on here will be our back piece. So the back piece, of course, we have the darts. So the dart position for regular sizes from the straight edge of the flap is 5 inches inside, and the dart depth is 3.5, 3.5, just like this, 3.5, just like this, and the dart width will be half an inch. So how will you do that? You fold it backwards this way, hold this in this form, and thread from here. So start from here and thread. Cut your threads. Cut your threads. So this is the dart point. Do the same darts on the other side as well. And after that, I decided to put a kente print or Ghana print as pockets for my outfit. So here you thread the pocket edge folding you have made. Just thread it. Now bear in mind that you can decide to use hemming gum to fold this, but because I don't want the shot to be much strong or heavy, I just decided to just fold it directly and sew. You know, I want to be light, kind of give me that light wear effect. And then I will bring the front panel where I have placed my dart already and place this pocket at the center point, or place it a bit off from this. Now the pocket opening, the pocket size I have is 8 inches. You know, I just wanted to have this bogus back patch pockets on it. You can set to make yours to be 5-6 inches of whatever you want to do. So I will place this at the middle in this form. Just place at the middle in this form, and then I will thread from here. I will thread from here, making sure it's lapped properly, and then I will thread from here. So this is the first pocket we are going to run. So do the same thing you are seeing on this back pocket with the next one. Bear in mind, you must not put pockets, right? But if you want to put, you now decide on the width, the measurements, you now fix the pocket accordingly. So the recommended measurement I have for you is 5.5 inches width by 6 inches depth. But I want this to have kind of a compact effect, a bogus effect. That's why I'm putting this size of pocket. After this, you cut your threads. You also cut your threads. Cut your thread as well. Cut your threads as well. So this is what we have. So I will do the second one, and then I'll come back to show you guys the results. Right, so now I am done putting the pockets. So at this stage, once you are done with the pockets, you can put the covers if you want the covers, but I don't want to have covers on this. So now the next you do is to join the sides. So how do you join the sides? By simply placing the appropriate patterns on it. Now the sides patterns will be placed at this area, just like this. You get correspond it. Now the where the crotch will be at the center point here, then you start joining. You start joining. Make sure that the both lengths are equal. Then you hold it firmly and start joining. You start joining from here. Start joining from here. Make sure you target the point where this stuff is, right? Target the end of the pocket. It's very important. Yeah, it's very important. So you join all through there. In most cases, you can, double thread it, then push your pocket inward so that you don't sew on it. So you carefully join this all through to this very point. All right, so now the next thing we are going to do here is to cut our belt loops. And the loop has been prepared, right? Just fold and top stitch. So you cut it at 4 inches all through. So from here to here is 4 inches. I'm trying to cut them in twos so that it's faster. So you cut the belt loop 4 inches all through. Make sure you measure them. Don't be in a haste. 4 inches all through. Measure and cut. There are 6 loops on a trouser. Both trouser and short, they are the same. So 6 loops is what you are going to cut. But remember that I said you might need to, cut them, the belt loop to be more than the length so that it won't affect your job. So I have cut the 6 loops now. It's now time for us to fix. So how do you fix? You just fold your shorts in this form and get your waistline. Fold in this form, get your waistline. So here is our total width of shorts from here. So our total waist of the shorts. So we use them, I think 40 or thereabouts. We use 40 to cut the waist. That's 20 divided by 2. We mark at 20. So what you have left here is 1 inch at the back pattern. So you're going to consider that 1 inch. You mark out the 1 inch from here and mark 1.5 for the back loop. And from the side joining, you're going to mark 2 inches here for your side belt loop. So here at the front, from the pocket tip, you mark 2.5 at this point. You mark 2.5 at this point, and then from here, you also mark 2.5 from the front pocket edge as well. Then from the side joining, you also mark 2 inches. And don't forget that the back had 1 inch allowance left. And then you also mark 1.5 for the belt loop, right? Fine. So the simplest way to do this now, there are 2 ways to fix your loop, your belt band rather. It's either you fix your band as a jointed band or you fix it as a one straight band. But it's preferable you do jointed band. Should in case your customer wants adjustments, you can easily adjust from the center back. So how then do you do that? Trim out the excess flaps here. Trim it out just like this, and then unzip your trouser, and then we're going to start fixing this band from here. So push the band to move out like 2 inches or 1.5 inch in front, to be longer by 1 inch or 1.5, and then start from the iron line, that line that you iron, start from there to thread. Be mindful of the zip iron stopper, and then when you have marked or started from this point, the next you will do is to fix your loop. At that point you have chalked, right? Fix your loop on that chalk line, place your band on top just like this, and then thread all through this way. So once you are threading, you make sure you open up the side join allowance just like this. Open up this and then you thread along. Then don't forget as well to add your loop at the marked points. Your loops should be added at the marked points, and then you go all along this area. You go all along this area. So here you mark these points. So this is how it's been done. So now, once you have done stitching to the very end, then you can now cut out the excess band here. Remember I told you that this band is going to be a jointed band. So the reason I had to sew to the end is for me to know exact length I will use. And then I have fixed one part of it. Look at how beautiful it is, right? And I will continue this band process at the other side. The same procedure or the same process we underwent in this one is also what we're going to do here. So I will do this and come back to show you the continuation. So now I am done fixing the two bands. So the next thing you will do now is to stitch the belt loops half an inch down, 0.5 inch down, just like this. So sew it down. All the belt loops must be sewn half an inch down. Now the essence of this stitching is to make sure that your belt will be able to pass through this belt loop half an inch from the point where the band was joined. So half an inch down, so you can measure it and stitch it down just like this. Don't forget to do this on all the belt loops. And the stitching, don't allow the stitching to touch the to be seen on the main trouser. All you need to do is to stitch only on the belt loop, just this way. Watch closely. Stitch only on the belt loop. The threading should not cross the loop, right? It should just end on the loop body. That's the essence of what I'm trying to explain. So once you have gotten to this stage, cut your threads, cut your threads. So look at what I mean. This stitching should end on the loop here. It should not extend to the body of the trouser. So the belt loop can now stay like this. You understand? Then while top stitching is when you now fold this in this form. While closing the band, you now fold this in this form, and then you top stitch alongside the band. It will not give you something of this nature. So let me continue the stitchings. I will come back to show you the finishing. All right, so here we are trying to lock the back waistline. So the back waistline, you have to hold it in this form, and then you remember that what we have left was 1 inch from the allowance we measured, 1 inch only. So make sure that the band is corresponding. The band must correspond properly this way, and then you stitch the 1 inch very well. Sew the 1 inch down. So sew all through this very way, and make sure that your hand is as straight as possible, and then arrange the crotch, back crotch area, and then start sewing. So when approaching the hip region, you can reduce it to 3/4 inch and subsequently to 1/2 of an inch. Then you get to the other point of the crotch, and this is what you have. After this, the next you will do is to cut your threads, and then this is what you have. Look at how perfect the back joining came out. You see, right? Because I held it nicely. So once you have achieved something of this nature, then the next you will do will be to lock or close the front band. So now you notch this point and then fold the band to come front, just like this. Now make sure that the notching is being held nicely, just like this. And then once you hold the notch point nicely, you now sew it from the edge, or the edge where the flap ended, stitch and then sew it straight. So this is how you lock or you close the band. So do cut off the excesses, cut it out, and then hold it this way and tuck it out in this form. So this is how it is. You see how it's being closed. Then this is the effects of what you have done so far. Then do the same thing you did here on the other end of the band as well. So let me repeat it as well so you will see it. So I said make a notch at this point, just like this, and then fold it to come frontwards, just like this, and hold the notch area together. The target is where this flap ended, this line. So hold it firmly, making sure that you place the notched points all through this way. Place the notch points all this way. Place the notch points properly all through this way. And then you sew. You sew all through to the very end. After that, you cut your threads. You cut your threads and then cut off the excesses just like this. Cut it out, and this is what you have. So you also tuck it out to come out this way, and you have achieved the closing of the ends of the band. Now the next you will do now will be to top stitch the band all along, and then I will also show you how to do that as well. All right, so here you start the closure by simply stitching on top of the band. Please note importantly that if you are doing a corporate short or whatever, you don't stitch on top of the band, you stitch inside where this band ended, right? So this edge will help you to hide the threadings. But because we are doing kind of a combat short kind of whatever it is, then we are stitching on top of the band, right? So the top stitching helps to add some kind of beauty to the short itself. So carefully stitch all through this way and make sure your hands are straight enough. So carefully stitch all through. At this point, you're not bothered about the belt loops. All you are bothered about is to lock the band correctly. So stitch all along this way, making sure that your folding is covering the first line here. So when you get to the center point at the back panel, you open it up in this form, and then you fold this to cover what you have here. Just observe what I'm doing here. Very important. The center line should tally with the center line, just like this, and then you stitch all through this way. So carefully do this, don't be in a haste. So stitch all through this way, stitch all through this way, stitch all through this way, and this is what you have. So stitch all through this way. So this is what you have. Skip all through this way. So now you have finished this threading. You see how neat the inside looks. So this is also how yours should also look. Then the next you will do now is to top stitch the band. So the band top stitching comes in this form. Top stitch the band by the tip here. This top stitching also helps to make the band to stand stronger. At this point, you now fold the belt loops at the point where it should be, just this way. Make sure it's being held straight from, just like this, and then you thread. So when you get to the belt loop, you are meant to raise the machine footer up so that it doesn't shift, and then you double stitch there. Double stitch all the points of the belt loop. The double stitching will help you to make it to relax or lap nicely. So you also come over to this point, and then you hold it this way. You hold it this way. And make sure You fold it this way, then you stitch. So do the same thing all throughout. So now you are done with the top stitching, then you cut the excesses of the loop inside the trouser. So make sure you cut them off. So I have done all of this, and this is what it looks like. So you can see that we are almost done with our short. So the next now you do will be to mark your knee measurements. You mark your knee in this form. You apply your lap, making sure that the crotch area, the both of them are evenly held together. So at this point, you can pin. So you bring the pin and pin the midpoint, and then mark your knee, your lap, and then you lock accordingly. So once you are done with the locking, so the pin, you want to bring it as well. So just hold it firmly, pin it all through this way. It's very important. The pinning will help the work to come out smoothly. And then you thread all along this line. So because of the fact that I want this to be a free kind of shot, right, I am trying to use 1/2 inch to lock all through. So here I am trying to, join the inner leg, inner seam, or inseam, whatever. Then I'm using just 1/2 inch to lock it. Like I said, this is a free shot. So when you get to the crotch area, you remove your pin, and then you make sure that the crotch points are corresponding. Then at this point, this is how you fold or you join the shots. And this is what I'm trying to achieve right here. And then you're done. The next you will do now will be to do the folding and then do the ironing. So guys, we are done with this. So I think we will go and iron it, and then I'll show you as well the results. So here you use this, it makes the work a whole lot easier. Place your shot inside here, then you open press. Right? It helps the work to go very well. Press. So make sure you have your thin iron or your dry set iron, whichever one you can afford. You can press this or through in this one. So after you have done this part, so the next thing, you can press everything you have sewn so far. You can press it very well. And also iron everywhere you have threaded at once. So once you have done the pressing, you also do it on the second one as well. And this is what you have. This is what you have. So carefully do this. The pressing is very important in everything you sew. You iron everything nicely as well. You can press everywhere possible. You can press everywhere possible. You can press everything possible. You open press all of this. Open press all of this. Just this way. You must open press before you proceed. You have to iron out everything. You have to open press everything. And then you open press the back as well. So the importance of open pressing, cannot be overemphasized. So you just have to, for you to be able to achieve a neat finishing. So once you're done with this now, then you can now start ironing the main shirt the way it should be. You are seeing how beautiful and how neat the shirt is coming out to be. And then the first thing you do is open your zip, then hold it in this form, hold it here, fold into two, just like this, and then try to balance the line. The side and the inner leg will correspond at this point. They must correspond at this point, and then here as well must also correspond at this point as well. So once you have gotten the 2 points matching, you now iron. You now iron properly. So this is how you iron your shorts and your trousers so that it can come out well. You iron all through, and then after which you also iron out this area as well. You iron here as well. To make sure everything is nicely ironed out. So now when you have gotten to this stage, the next thing you will do will be to fold. You fold the short length to the length of your choice. So the short length folding, I want to use 1 inch to fold this. So here you measure the length of the shirt. I think I have it to be 19 at the cutting time, so I will use 1 inch to make it a bit longer. So I will just fold 1 inch. So here I will just fold here 1 inch this way, and then you iron as well. So this is the end of the video. I do hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. See you in the next one. Bye.